Well, it's sort of is great concern really, because the market hasn't moved over. This is a decision that's been made, probably an emotional decision, being made by the supermarkets. Moving on an online petition, changing across. The consumers seem to be very happy buying what they're buying at the moment. It's slowly moving to more and more free range. Year on year, we're seeing the free range market grow, maybe 2, 3, sometimes up to 5% a year. That's good. It's good for the industry. We can move across slowly. We can manage the market. To make a sudden snap decision on one petition that's come out, possibly on the back of what's happened in the United States, I think it's quite worrying for the industry.
And it must be a big concern for farmers who invested a lot of money not long ago because of the EU battery ban.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, some of that equipment's 4 years old. At the time, it was classed as welfare-friendly equipment, some of the best equipment available there. The industry spent best part of £400 million. Most of that won't be paid off yet. A lot of people will only be 4 years into maybe a 10-year payback. So again, they'll need another good 6 years of decent prices to be able to pay that back, and maybe better prices than we have at the moment, when we see all the very, very competitive eggs that have been sold in supermarkets. So again, it's going to be a tough time, and worrying for industry. Those people who have spent all those money on those very big units that probably won't be able to convert to free range. Well, I think it's a huge amount of uncertainty. A lot of people say with Brexit the big issue is uncertainty, and I think we've got the same issue in our industry. If you go back over the years, barn, which is what a lot of people sit there saying maybe multi-tier barn can replace the colony cage. We used to have multi-tier barn, that went out of favour, so we took it all out. But before we had it, there was another session of doing barn, and that went out of favour again. And if you look at the barn figures at the moment, they're just going down year on year. I mean, last year I think it was around about 6% there's a reduction. So people don't buy into the barn concept, and somehow or other we've got to turn back years and years of people not buying barn into getting to encourage them to buy barn. And I think a lot of people just look at that and think, well, I just don't see that's possible. Well, that's what I think we're trying to do at the NFU. We're trying to have a talk to the retailers, which we do all the time anyway, and actually say to them, look, what are your intentions? Some of these decisions weren't just one person making a decision. It was a group of people. It could have been the people helping executives. It was maybe the corporate social responsibility groups. It was agricultural managers. All made a joint decision, maybe a bit of a snap decision, and I think it probably wasn't particularly well thought out. And I think even some themselves, I think, well, it's 9 years off, and we can worry about that when it comes. What they don't realise is it takes years and years of planning and investment to do this, and we really need to probably start making decisions fairly soon. So again, I think we need to have a talk to the supermarkets. They need to let their suppliers know, what their intentions are on this. Will it be multi-tier barn? Are they expecting everything just slowly to move over to free range? And give us some idea of what they're expecting. Well, again, we remember back to 2012 where we went from a surplus before 2012 to a phenomenal shortage for at least good 9 months afterwards, and it put the whole market into disarray. And again, I think we've got the same thing here. Should we be expanding free range now? Should we start building up the numbers? But obviously, if the market's not changing over, then obviously we don't want to oversupply it with free range up to 2025, which is the year they've all said. So again, it's are they going to sit there and actually change their mind? Will they? Will those people who made those decisions still be there in 9 years' time? Maybe somebody else will. Maybe the world will have moved on. Maybe different things will have happened. And maybe they will look at it and actually say, well, no, we won't necessarily push on with that decision. I think there's a lot of uncertainty there, and I think we need to sort of a little bit find out exactly what's happening on that. No, I think the initial reaction, we are going to meet up with some of the big colony, and you've got to remember there's not, of the big colony producers, there's actually not that many of them. We do talk to them, some are sat on the board, we've got on the NFU Poultry Board. So again, we are discussing with them. But again, I don't think the retailers said they did. It was discussed with them. I don't think it was discussed as much as what maybe they're saying it was discussed. I think this was just a decision that was made, and I think some were informed afterwards. But these million bird colony sites, there's not that many of them, even though they produce a lot of eggs. So again, they will have to be discussing with the likes of the big retailers, because the retailers won't get the eggs if these people won't invest, if the banks won't allow them to invest, if they can't borrow the money to invest, then they're not going to be able to change over. There's still 17 million hens in colony cages in the country, which is a huge amount of free range sheds if that's what we're going to go to.